Governor will meet for a televised debate. It will be the second time around for two of those candidates, but the first for Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves.
Reeves skipped the first round, but former State Supreme Court Chief Justice Bill Waller Jr. and State Representative Robert Foster went head-to-head at MSU in April. Our Jory Talley talks with a political science professor to find out how debates impact voters. She joins us live in the studio with this story. Jory?
It's up to candidates if they want to take part in debates, and there are several things that go into that decision. For over 2 decades, MUW Dean of Arts and Sciences and political science professor Dr. Brian Anderson has specialized in politics. He says debates have changed a lot since the early 90s. Now they can be riskier for candidates, and social media plays a big role.
People can insert things into their own agenda, whether or not the candidate really can be said to have intended it that way. And I think candidates are much more wary of this encounter because social media can just immediately carve up what might be a carefully crafted answer and presentation into pieces that don't look very flattering.
Anderson says risk management is another big reason for candidates, especially frontrunners, to skip the debate.
It is much better for a candidate, especially if they're leading in the polls and seem to have an advantage, to get the short-term criticism of not being a fair sport and debating candidates who may not be very well known by comparison.
Anderson says it's all about controlling the environment. That often means screening the questions and even who is allowed in the audience. Something
like the Hyde-Smith-Espy encounter, where they're going to really filter out who gets in the room, is an attempt to prevent those chance questions or occurrences of behavior that might throw somebody off guard, something said from the audience or something introduced at the last minute.
The professor says the risk can be greater for local candidates if they don't show up for a debate.
We're still at a point where local politics can be much more genuine, much more personal, and that you can say, I know this person, I've worked with this person, I see them around town, and if they're not showing up, they're acting a little too high and mighty.
Often, it's the undecided voter who has the most to gain from the head-to-head competitions.
There's going to be some others, like Medicaid expansion or something, where a candidate, no matter where they stand on the issue, has to have an answer, and that answer is going to impact people's well-being, and so your on-the-fence person is going to be looking at that, saying, maybe I can learn something at this moment and won't have to do deep research.
The upcoming debate will be aired statewide, including here on WCBI on July 23rd at 7 p.m.